Guru Nation, how's it going? Welcome back. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood, as
I
Mr. Rogers used to say.
always found him creepy, but
Yeah, but he created a legacy. My son is obsessed with Daniel Tiger,
yeah,
who's
is is that a
that's the
spinoff?
spin-off. It's the tiger from
No,
Mr. Rogers.
I
Ah,
know
okay.
nothing of Mr. Rogers other than his opening.
Well, there's a tiger pup. They were all puppets back then called Daniel Tiger. And now they're animated. This series is animated. It's all about Daniel Tiger, but it's the same characters, except they're all in make-believe land. There's no Mr. Rogers.
It's funny how you know more about Mr. Rogers than I do, and he was from my time
No,
period,
no, I grew
not
up on
yours.
I grew up on Mr. Rogers. Like every day I would watch Mr. Rogers.
Interesting, because he started in 1968. I was born in 69. So
But he had a long legacy, like decades long, I think. Maybe I caught the tail end of it in my childhood.
let's see.
You learn something new on this show all the time. It's not just research, guys. You know? Grab some
Wow.
popcorn.
Yeah, he ran 33 years.
hmm
2001 was his last year.
They made a movie about him. I think it was called Call Me Fred or just Fred, but
Hmm.
it was about his story, like a biography. It was cool. Anyways, Legacy still lives on the same songs, more or less. They just add some new stuff, but it's recursive, man. I watched it. Now my son's basically singing similar songs.
Hmm.
And research, back to research.
Oh, we could talk about Mr. Rogers all the podcast
Nah, there's
here.
nothing really left to talk about him. I mean, it's amazing what kind of legacy you could leave. But Clinker Research, there's new site owners popping up a
All the
lot.
time, all the time.
I think it's good. We never talked about that. Do you think it's actually good or bad for the industry that there's a marketplace for site owners to at least try?
Well, I'll say this from the industry perspective, and when I say that, I mean sponsor side. I think they like new sites, though they have a catch-22 oftentimes. You have no experience, they're reluctant to give you a study. That aside, they do like new sites because it opens it up to new demographics, specifically research naive patients, if the sites are located in such areas. So they're not hip
Mm.
to new sites in Florida per se,
Right, right.
because they have,
I think everyone could agree. I think you bring up a good point. Everyone would agree that having more options for patients in places where there previously weren't any, like Yuma. I don't want
mhm,
to toot our own horn, but it's just the only example I know right now.
mhm.
But like, I think everyone would agree that's good, right? Provided there's not any scam going on or fraud. That's a good thing for everyone. Can the same be said about a larger market like a Miami or a LA?
Not from the sponsor perspective.
Right, as a macro, but what about, so is it worth it to continue to incentivize that, knowing that, yeah, we don't need necessarily more sites there, but from those new sites that pop up, one or two of them are going to be amazing.
Well,
Is that worth it as a whole?
I almost address this question on a weekly basis.
Oh, well, there you go. Here's some more in your off time.
So we take calls from potential clients every week,
Yeah, I think
and
now's a good time to plug our service.
we offer client services.
Brought to you by viewers like you.
So these client services entail guidance on getting studies. That's a big portion of it. Um, and I tell every new site I speak to in Florida, specifically the Miami, South Florida, but all of Florida in general.
Shout out 305,
Um,
Dade County.
it's probably Florida's the worst state to start a new site. And there's a
Ah,
number of reasons behind that. That doesn't mean you can't be successful. It's just going to be harder.
does that mean they shouldn't try?
No, it's like I said, I end it with
Okay.
I tell them why, which is there's just a plethora of sites in Florida. Um, Also, they're notorious for fraud. So until you've established yourself and have a relationship, it's
Hmm.
going to be difficult to get studies. Um,
But do you think the market, the free market nationwide, is built in such a way to for our industry to where, you incentivize like it's been very easy to get studies here in Yuma.
mhm,
The problem is no one really wants to move here, or the doctors who are here are already overworked.
mhm,
But there's still market incentives if somebody were just randomly to move, like we did. We just
mhm,
moved here for other reasons, and we're like, well, I think research would do good here.
mhm.
I think we need more of that, and if that means more sites in Miami also and LA, then so be it. Like, let the market take care of it.
Well, again, just to finish my thought on Miami, just because there's a plethora of sites does not mean you cannot be successful, because there are plenty of successful sites, and we even have clients that are successful eventually. It
Some
just,
of our
again,
most successful.
yeah, it just takes a little longer to get there than it
Haha.
would in a less um, competitive area, right? Yuma, for example, because you're the only entity there.
Hmm.
And even if you're one of three, it's very limited. So, if there were three sites in Yuma taking studies, it would still be successful because there's enough population
Sure.
that the competition isn't plentiful enough to curtail success, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think you would get the same therapeutic indications in Yuma, though. Like, you wouldn't get the same study.
You may or may not. It would depend on the sponsor and how they felt about your site. But
Yeah.
but the point is you would still have plenty of opportunity
Yes.
so long as there isn't much in the way of competition.
Right. Right. So this kind of theme for today is the maybe the do's and don'ts of a new site owner, because there's a lot of them out there. And we get asked, you way more than me now, get asked these questions. And, as we open the show, is it's there. The first one they always ask is now a good time to start a site?
Well, it's
Eh,
not a bad time, so that entails a good time,
But has the
right?
answer ever been no? I mean,
Yeah,
it has.
in my opinion. I would have said if we were doing this in 2009, I would have said no to everybody. It's a bad time.
Well, in hindsight, it's easy to say that. I don't know if we would have seen it at that time.
When we were losing 30 to 40 to 50% of our studies, yeah, you could
But
tell it was a
the
bad
argument
time.
then would be, hey, this is the bottom. Like, it's good to
It
get
is
in
the
right
bot.
now.
Yeah, it is the bottom, but you don't want to get in and just be blowing money for no reason.
Right. So maybe that's our first do. It's not so much the timing as it is
Well, it is
being
kind
frugal.
of. Well, so here's what I would say.
Hmm.
So long as the industry is handing out studies more so than taking them away, I think your timing is fine, right? Yeah, sure, there could be a better time. There can always be a better time for everything,
How do we
but
track that?
it's not a bad time. Well, okay, so how many studies? Looks like you have a rat. It's your cat, but it looks like a rat in the shadow because you
Oh
can't
no,
see the
that's
fur of the tail.
that's my dog Bodie.
Oh, it looks like a rat. It's funny
It's
because
the
you can't
light.
see
Yeah,
the
the
fur.
light. You see his tail. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, how you can track it, in my opinion, would be when's the last time you had a study shut down?
No, no, I know how I could track it
Mid-study.
anecdotally, but if
Well,
I'm a new site, right?
that's what you would have to talk to somebody with experience for
There
your
you
new
go.
site
That's the
and
first step.
ask,
That's the first
right?
step.
So are people getting studies shut down? Because that's a bad indication for
Hmm.
the industry in terms of a site.
Yeah.
If that's kind of irregular, which it is right now, it
Yeah.
happens, but it's just due to the data showing it. It's can't think of the word. Inefficient. That's not the word I'm looking for, but um, it's not efficacious. Thank you. So if the drug's not efficacious at their midterm data point, I mean, they shut it down. It doesn't make sense for them to spend any more money.
Interim analysis.
Right. So, and
Especially
that
with a
still
much stricter
happens.
FDA now.
And that's
Supposedly they're gonna be stricter.
and that still happens. But when's the last time that happened to Yuma? Maybe once since it's
This year, it actually happened this year. We
okay. And
didn't start screening it.
is that the only time since it started?
For lack of efficacy, twice.
Okay, so twice in 3 years.
Well,
So,
closer to five now.
okay, twice in 5 years. In
Yeah.
2009, I recall 4 studies getting shut down, and it wasn't due.
And it was in
Well,
like a quarter.
yeah, it was due to funding
Yeah.
because of the marketplace and the stock market crashing and everything else.
Right,
It had
right.
nothing to do with efficacy.
But to an outsider, I mean, an outsider, I guess CRAs would know. So there's a big segment of our clients that are CRAs that start sites. So I guess they would ha know based
Hmm.
on what they're seeing on their end. But
Hmm.
like if you're not a CRA, if you're someone just not in the industry,
Sure, you're a research naive doctor. Hey, I've heard of this. I can add this
mhm,
data
how would you
streams to
know?
my. You'd have to ask someone like us.
And that's where that leads us to our next thing, the do's and don'ts of what you should do or not do. Question comes up about conferences.
Hmm.
Should I go? Should I not go?
Well, this is where you and I may disagree a little bit.
I don't know. I don't think we disagree.
So, you and I don't attend a lot of conferences.
No.
So when I get this question asked, I say I don't know. Let me ask around. So you know what I do? I usually send a text to Judy and Brad. Hey,
Okay.
what's a good, is this a, because they'll ask me specifically
But they go
oftentimes.
to everything though.
Right. So what potential clients will do, or clients, um, I wouldn't bother Judy and Brad over a potential client, but a client asks, "Hey, this conference is local to me. I'd like to attend it. Is this a good conference to get studies or get my name
Hmm.
out there for studies?" So I'll send it to Judy and Brad and ask, "Hey, have you been to this conference? And if so, what's it like for getting studies or at least getting in databases?"
Hmm.
And whatever they tell me, I tell the client.
And what do they usually tell you?
They usually say yes, but there's been a few times they say no. This has nothing to do with getting studies.
Mm.
So I have said no, it's not a great conference, pick another. Um,
You know what I would do if I were a physician, especially? I would go to, so first of all, we have to save our sites, which we started this to answer this question, hopefully definitively once and for all for the industry, but we're new, so we're working towards that ideal. If I were a physician or even an entrepreneur, and I'm actually thinking about doing this for myself soon, very limited and within close distance to me, therapeutic area conferences, not like this SCRS. I do think there's value in going to those things as well. I just think the value is more for the established sites at those things than the newer sites. But I think there's value there in getting intel on how busy are we gonna get. But you can actually these days get the same kind of intel on LinkedIn. You can just be on the news feed and see, okay, people complaining about layoffs. It's not necessarily a good indicator, or people saying, complaining about they have too many studies and not enough patients or not enough coordinators. That's a good indicator that it's busy. So you can kind of get some free ways of doing it. But I think these therapeutic area conferences like ASCO, for example. If I were an oncologist, you and I both know Dr. Al. He goes
mhm,
every year. The
mhm.
late Dr. Hoffman, rest in peace. He used to go all the
Great
time.
guy. Great
All
guy.
the time he used to go ASCO, right? He wouldn't go to any of this SCRS. I don't
Hmm.
think he would have gone to SOS only to like appease us, but he wouldn't have gone to actually for himself, I don't think. But ASCO, they're going. Or like in CNS, it used to be called the NC-DO. I don't know what it's called. For GI, there's DDW. There's therapeutic area conferences all the time.
What's the psych one in Florida?
It used to be called NC-DO, but I think it's called
Wasn't it
something
called?
else now.
Where's it held?
I don't know
Boca
anymore.
Raton.
Yeah,
Boca
Boca
Raton.
Raton, but that's
That's right.
SCRS too.
Okay.
Point is, it doesn't matter. People can Google where you can AI what conferences for these therapeutic area. It'll give you all of them.
Hmm.
I think those are more valuable, specifically because sites are not going, but the PIs might be going.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I have actually heard from those who do go to conferences
Yeah.
that those types of conferences are good for getting studies.
Remember when you and I went to DDW for GI for Hazen on behalf of
Hmm.
Hazen?
Hmm.
every sponsor was there.
Hmm.
Every sponsor, and you and I even went there. We weren't doing GI at the time, but we had clients,
Hmm.
and we would go do our Good Samaritan work for our clients
Hmm.
and say, "Hey, are you guys taking new site?" We would bring back some business cards for people.
Hmm.
No sites are there. I think there were like two sites at that whole thing with
Hmm.
booths.
Hmm.
I remember going to talk to them.
And
I
you don't need,
specifically said, "Why are you here?" Well,
but
because there are no sites.
yeah, for you that's new to research, you don't need a booth. You
No,
just
you
need
don't
to
need a
attend.
booth. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my nuanced answer. Now, if one of these big conferences like what did I go to recently? I don't like conferences for industry focused. I like
Socra,
disease.
Socra in
Socra.
Anaheim.
I think it was
Or was that
ACRP.
or was it
ACRP.
SCRS?
It was no, it was ACRP.
No.
Association of Clinical Research Professionals. So I don't personally like industry conferences like that because that's why we have SOS because we don't like those things. Some of our colleagues go. I don't think it's a waste of time necessarily. When I went to ACRP, because I didn't have to travel much, it's in your backyard. I remember getting on Merck's database, which I don't want to get into that with Merck, but we got on Merck's database, and then we got on Sanofi
You love
Aventis.
Merck. Come on.
I hope they buy Iova. That's a stock I own. IOVA, not financial advice.
Well, then you'll love Merck.
I'll love Merck for that moment, and then
All things are forgiven.
I don't think it'll be forgiven. You're getting me sidetracked here, man.
Because I find it funny.
Yeah, but I don't want them to they have like nasty lawyers. We love you guys, okay? Go buy Iova. Uh, Sanofi, I got on Sanofi Aventis database. I got on three other sponsors. I think that was worth it. I put YCT on there. Now, we did end up getting studies at YCT from Sanofi. I don't know if it was causal to that. I can't prove it. But a few months later, Sanofi emails you, hey, you want to do this study? It's hard to tell if you got it from my efforts of doing that or from a coordinator networking with someone or from the ASEA sending us a study lead. It's just, I think it's the habit of doing it. It's not a bad thing to go to conferences as much as I don't like the industry focused conferences. Now, the therapeutic area focused conferences, I think, are much better. So if you're a oncologist, you definitely should be going to ASCO, especially if you're doing research. If you're a GI, you should be going to DDW, even if you're not doing research. Matter of fact, that's who goes there primarily, just regular GIs. Now, if you do research as well, or you're a coordinator, bring your coordinator with you. Yeah, let's go. You go get studies. I'm gonna go look at posters of the new treatments. You go get studies. That's our game plan. Then we'll have drinks and happy hour and mingle with people. I think that's worth going. I think it's not like it's better than not going, in my opinion, as much as I talk shit about conferences. So that's my nuanced take. I don't know if we agree or disagree.
I don't necessarily disagree. I don't think just going to conference to go, I don't think that's worthwhile personally.
Well, some
Uh,
people go just to have an excuse to drink and get away from the wife.
sure, sure. I think like a lot of clients do, I would make sure to begin with that there could be some ROI there for your site to
Yeah,
go.
yeah. But it's not like
Um,
magic fairy dust. Like you go there and you just jump in this pool of pixie dust and you're gonna come back with studies. That's not how it
yeah.
works.
And yeah, it takes work to get a study when you go there. And
Hmm.
you're not going to get a study award at these conferences. What's going to happen is you're going to find out about a study that you can click with, your site clicks with, and the sponsor believes your information you're providing, and they take your information.
Yeah.
Or they say, hey, put yourself in the database,
Put
which is
yourself
of
in this
course,
database where they'll have this QR code. Shout out to Monica.
yep.
She loves QR codes. They'll have this QR code there where you can fill up your site. And then if months later, if that
Hmm.
sponsor doesn't lose that QR code, and if the feasibility person looking for new sites gets a login to that database, that's a big if, both of those big ifs, then they might come after you.
Right.
So is it better than doing nothing? Yes. Can you get
So
that QR code from someone else who attended, one of your colleagues, without you having to go? Yes.
Well, I mean, yes, that's definitely one way this could happen, but there's other things that can happen at a conference. Like at our conference, literally, I
Ours
know,
is special.
well, no, I mean it is and it isn't. I'm sure this happens at other conferences as well, that you talk to people and then you find out one's a sponsor and you have a conversation with them and they say, yeah, we have this study, we're looking for sites. This happened at our conference with three different of our clients in which they got studies from our conference. And again, you're not directly awarded the study while you're standing there talking to this person, but you expressed interest in a study they have, they take your information and they call you.
Yeah. Yeah. What about so therapeutic area expertise, I would say yes, especially if you're a doctor. Industry focused. If you don't have to travel too much and you're not paying ridiculous, some of these conferences are
Yeah, like a
unbelievably
thousand
priced.
a day.
Unbelievably priced.
Yeah, 1,000 a day,
Ridiculous.
right? Like
Maybe even
SCRS, isn't
more.
that like a thousand a day?
I think that's for people that are members.
So it's even more than that.
Yeah, DIA, which is not
1,000 a
really
day.
research. I think it's more.
Well, I know.
Bio, we've
Well,
been to
when we
bio.
went to DIA, it was 1,000 a day.
I think we went to DIA and bio.
We went to
We went to one of
DIA in
each.
2019, right? We had a booth there.
Yeah, that might have been bio, but yeah, same
I thought it
thing.
was DIA.
I think we've been to both.
Okay. Well, anyhow, it was like 1,000 a day. But
Yeah.
if you had it was actually, I think, cheaper if you had more than one person to actually get a booth, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, so we slummed it with Dr. Hazen in her
Yeah,
booth. It was good
yeah,
times.
yeah.
Okay, so that's another topic they ask you. What about my favorite, getting a website, getting a logo, before they get into hiring people, but just that basic, like, do
Well,
we need a website,
you
business
have to
cards?
you have to have a website
Yeah, I think you have to have a website.
because sponsors look to see if you have a presence online. A
By
lot
the
of
way,
them
anyone
do.
that needs a website, I got a good contact now that I work with, so reach out to me.
So yeah, they want to see that you have a presence online.
Of course. And in 2020, who's not gonna have a website? Like, which
Yeah.
site is operating that doesn't have a website? You know?
Well, very new sites, and that's why they also look is because how new are you? And if you are so new that you don't even have a website, do we really want to work with you?
Well, the other ones that don't have websites are the big academic and medical centers when they have
But
departments.
they have a website. It's the whole
Yeah, and
complex
they have authority already. So the website's just showing that you have some kind of
presence. Yeah.
some kind of presence. You're not some fly by night.
Yep.
Uh, which I've had CRAs tell us that the only reason they come out for site selection visits is
Make
to
sure you're
make
not
sure,
working in your garage.
yeah, working out of your garage was their exact phrase that they used.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, another do's and then logo, business card. You've never been a fan of logos.
I don't. Yeah. I mean,
It says something about you if you have a logo, I think.
I don't know. Just put your name on your website. I think that's sufficient.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel differently about that. I think Bill Walsh said it best. How you do anything shows you how you do everything. So, you don't have a logo. What else do you not have? Probably a policy for XYZ.
You have to have standard operating procedures if that's what you mean by policy.
Yeah, but which ones do you have? And then to what level of commitment did you actually create them?
Yeah. I I I agree.
That's all I'm saying. It just shows something else about you. Like, okay, well, they took the time to do it. It actually looks nice. They probably do nice on other stuff too. It's all you have to go by. It's a limited data set.
Sure. Yeah. You don't
Doesn't
have a
mean to
whole
spend like 20 grand on your logo. I think that's crazy. The days of that are over. I hope you guys realize that you can create it on AI now.
yeah for $5 or what is a
No, for
Gemini?
free. For now, you do it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's a Gemini
well,
monthly
Gemini
fee?
is like 20 bucks a month, but you can have the free version and it will make you a logo.
Sure. Will it be better on the paid version?
No, it's the same thing. You just get reasoning models and stuff like that on the.
Ah,
Speaking of which, this is a good segue. Tools, technologies. Sites are always asking, should I start with eSource? Should I start with paper? You and I both have various opinions about this. You've been on a panel about this, dressed up as Thomas Jefferson, I believe, or George Washington.
I don't know. I was forced to wear a stupid wig.
I think you said
That's
two
all I
words.
know.
You said two words in the entire panel. I watched that one.
Yeah, Edie was
She was. I don't
the
blame you,
mouth.
man. That girl was killing it. That's when I was like, "This is what happens when you put an attorney amongst like." This would be like what happened if an NBA player went to the 24-hour fitness and played basketball. Like that's what we were watching. Like this lady was cleaning the floor with everyone there.
Sure.
Shout out to
And,
Edie.
and she likes to talk, so
Well, as attorneys should, but it was to me that was clear. Like as watching an NBA player go play in the open runs, like she was just mopping the floor. I don't blame you for not saying more than two words, but now you could say more than two words.
give me a little credit. I probably said 20.
Maybe I have ADHD, so I was like not focused all the time. Now you can say more than 20 words because clients are asking, do
So,
we? And this is where we probably disagree.
well, I doubt we do, but possibly.
Possibly.
What I generally tell a client, a new client, right? Somebody that's
Hmm.
research naive, unless you're not going to be on location and you're not certain you want to do this, I would start with paper.
Yeah.
So, in other words, we'll see how the first study goes, and I'm going to experiment and see if this is something I want to stick with.
Mm.
If that's your mindset, then I would start with paper,
Yeah,
right?
see, we disagree.
And if but even in that situation, if you're not going to be on site as the PI, then you should probably do electronic.
Yeah. Okay. So we
But
agree.
if it's your private practice, let's say as an example, it's your private practice, it's going to be at your location, and you're kind of apprehensive about doing research. You're not real sure you want to do research, so you want to experiment and try a study. I tell them do paper.
Yeah. This is where I disagree. But similar to the logo thing, I think just from an optics perspective, and I've had CRAs tell me this, the sites that are using eSource and eReg are perceived better. Um, it's related to the logo discussion, but it's even more than that. It's the you're basically removing the ability to do fraud by
Sure,
voluntarily doing
sure,
eSource.
sure.
And so there's always that lingering doubt, like, well, 60% of sites now use eSource. I don't know the actual number. I think that's probably about right.
I would guess it's not, but okay.
You think it's less, like
Mhm.
40?
Probably.
Okay, half the sites, let's say, use eSource, half use paper. There's still lingering doubts there, like, what are they hiding? Why it's not like they're expensive anymore. We're sponsored by Creo here on this channel. SOS sponsored by quite a few others, including Creo. You can actually just pay for what you need. You don't need to buy everything.
Sure.
And it's like 2,500, I think, for us to start it. And then it's becomes very affordable, like a per patient visit fee of like $10 or $20. You can get that in your budget. Like
That's not always true, though.
you can get something. You
That's
can
not always
get
true.
uh, you usually get a technology fee or a startup fee?
It depends. But I'm telling you, there's sponsors out there and big sponsors that will not pay a dime towards eSource. I actually got in an argument with a large sponsor just recently about this.
Mm,
And I said, how is this even conceivable that you are not going to help a site pay for the eSource when it's beneficial to both of you?
yeah.
And they said, we don't, period. So I asked them, hey,
Wow.
can you put some money?
Elitist.
Can you pay for the administration fee? Can you pay for this fee? Can you put dollars anywhere else to compensate for the source? And they said, no, we do not pay for this. This is the site's choice. That was their exact. I could show you the email.
No, I believe you.
So what I'm telling you is
But is that the norm?
No, it's not the norm. I
Yeah.
would say the norm is place 70. The smaller sponsors often don't pay for it either.
Right, but they're
Um,
less argumentative. Like they
no,
would
they
be
just
more
tell you
willing.
well, no, the smaller sponsors will often say we've dedicated this dollar amount
Hmm.
to administrative fees, and adding that would exceed the dollar amount.
Okay,
So we can't pay for this. So
fair
yes,
enough.
I would say a third don't pay for it.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess if you're gonna be on the one third of that equation where they don't pay for it, you're gonna have to come out of pocket until you randomize someone or
And and that's my point though. If you're not sure you want to do this, why take the time to learn it? You're
yeah,
potentially not going to be paid for it. It's going to come out of pocket. So why don't you do
true.
one study to make sure you like doing studies and are going to continue doing this? It's easy when you only have one study to transfer over to
To
eSource.
eSource, yeah. I just think if you say no, let's just go paper. It becomes easier to just say no again and again and again. And pretty soon you've created a culture where no one wants to try because, oh, well, this is how we've always done it.
Yeah,
And I don't see the industry headed in that direction. I see the opposite, actually.
probably our busiest client uses paper. They get awarded probably 3 studies a month and they use paper.
Wow. Well, the question also has to be a philosophical one of how big are you trying to grow? Like if you
Mhm.
just want to be a lifestyle business for, a couple studies a year, this is not really the main thing. The main thing is the private practice. This is just ancillary stuff. I could see an argument for no e-source.
Well, I do always tell them this is where the industry's going, and eventually you'll have to use it if you continue doing research. I let them know that. It's not like I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
don't use eSource.
Right,
I'm
right,
just
right.
I'm just telling them if you're apprehensive that you're going to be doing research 3 years from now, I don't know if I would spend the time because these doctors are busy
Yeah.
learning eSource and
I
paying
think,
for it.
listen, even if you have to come out of pocket as a Creo user myself, I think it's worth it just for the CTMS. Like just to be able to track your invoices, know what you're owed, know
Mhm.
what you've been paid with like literally just clicking a few buttons. You have to program them initially, but you can get your dry ice automatically invoiced. To me, that's worth the price right there, even if a sponsor says no. Is it worth the price right away? Probably. It depends how much time you have to deal with all that admin nonsense.
Mhm.
And the new girl we just hired, I think I'm gonna get her trained to do the financing stuff too, in addition to her other stuff, because she used to be front desk at a urologist, so she would dabble in the billing. So I think I'm gonna have her do that, just because I suck at it.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's to me it's a no-brainer. Okay, what else? How about hiring staff?
Yeah. When you don't have a study, don't hire 14 people. That's my first way.
14?
I'm exaggerating.
Who would you got a
Well, we
football team? You got 11 men on the football
I
field.
always bring up one of our first clients. They had
They
no
didn't do
study.
14
They did 3. They hired 3 coordinators,
with no study and them. So
and
there were like five of them.
they went broke.
Yeah, because they were also a Florida site, if I remember
They
correctly.
were. But the thing was, is they let everyone go,
That's crazy.
and then they finally got a study and hired, and then they were very successful.
Hired the same people back like the NIH did
I
with
have no
Doge.
idea. I have no idea if they hired the same people
You
back,
know, that's
but
what a lot of the NIH did, right? Oh, you're let go. Actually, can you come back?
nice.
Who else was answering these queries? No, we need you actually.
Yeah. So, be mindful of, if you have a bottomless pocket, you can do whatever you want, but most people are not in that situation. So
Right.
be mindful of your expenses.
Okay, more precise question. When do you hire a
Uh,
coordinator?
and I usually recommend waiting until you're going to have a site selection visit, unless because there are certain instances where I say you should probably hire someone now, and that's when it's a doctor. They absolutely have no time to dedicate to research whatsoever.
Right.
and like business development or anything. It's
They're
like, well,
not
you
going to
have
answer an email. A CDA might
right,
be sitting in their inbox. No
right.
one's getting to it.
You need somebody now.
Yeah. You need
I
at
think
least
it,
an admin
yep,
who will become a coordinator with the right training,
yep,
which CRC Academy. So
yep,
that's the next thing, actually, training.
yep.
Do I hire an experienced CRC?
Depends on how much you like to gamble.
Explain that more. Let's double click on that one.
Well, you're way more likely with no experience at the PI level, or any level
Ah,
at the site
yes, yes,
with experience. You're much more likely to make catastrophic mistakes. So you generally may want to at least have some training in
yes,
order to avoid these catastrophic mistakes.
yes.
But if you like to gamble, I mean, we've had clients that have been successful without
I see
any
what you
training.
mean. I see what you mean. I think the answer is it depends. And here's why I this is where when I answer for myself, it's different. But I think
Well, you have training.
right, I'm
You're
experienced.
knowledgeable. You can answer
Correct.
these
Like
questions.
when I moved to Yuma and we started our site, I didn't need a coordinator until like 8 months in
Mhm.
because I had the experience. And then I saw somebody on LinkedIn say, how do you convince sponsors to give your research naive PI a study? And I didn't answer, but in my head, I'm thinking, you don't convince them. You have them come to the site and you sell them on your experience. And then you're
But you
not
can
going to
offer
get the good
guidance.
studies. You're not going to get the good studies anyways until he or she gets a few studies under his belt. And then you
Hmm.
don't have to worry about it. So you do need some experience early on, like whether it's yourself, the initial stakeholder, or someone you're gonna hire. Now, these CRAs that quit their monitoring to own a site, which I think more of you should do it. I think it's way
But
less work
with a
as a
caveat
site
to
owner.
that, don't quit your job until
Right,
you
right.
can support yourself.
Well, some of them these days they get laid off, but
Sure.
yeah, they don't have a choice. Sometimes it's the best. Sometimes it's the best thing. Like, side note, I was talking to Yuma Clinical Trials. We do a monthly business spotlight of small businesses in the community. We do a podcast. So we did part two, but the part one was so well with the nail salon lady, Jenny. We did a part two. Jenny moved, but I went to do a business one, just me and her. She did my manicure actually. So I got my manicures done while she was podcast. Look at these nails. If you're
Hmm.
on the podcast, you're missing out. These are some great nails. Uh, she just started doing nails in 2020. I was like, you must have been doing this your whole life. You're good. She's like the best in Yuma. She always wins the awards. She's like, no, I taught myself everything. I said, what were you doing before that? Oh, I was a receptionist at a agriculture company. And then what happened? Well, COVID, and then they laid everyone off. So I got tired of sitting around the house and I started doing nails for people in my kitchen. So it just layoffs, sometimes downtrends in the markets are the best thing. And now looking back, she's like, oh man. I said, what would happen if COVID would have never been? Is there a world where you're still that receptionist? And she's like, yeah, sadly, yeah, and it's scary. So sometimes the best things that happen to us seem like they are bad things initially, especially when it comes to jobs and job losses. But that's sometimes what you need to push you to do what you really wanted to do, even if it's subconsciously. Like for her, she didn't even know she was gonna do nails at that time. And now she's like Yuma's best. She wins awards every year. She can't, not even accepting new clients. She's that busy. So
Nice.
sometimes, and stay tuned for that podcast, Yuma Clinical Trials, a YouTube channel, go check it out, and Instagram. But if you're a laid off CRA or a laid off project manager, is it exactly 100% dollars for donuts transferable skill? No. But do you have research experience to start a site? Yes. And so if a monitor comes at a site selection visit, does the staff have experience? Yes. That's all you need
Guys,
to say.
so just to add cooperation. Cooperation? No,
Cooperation.
no, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Collaboration? No,
Collaboration.
no. I can't think of the word, but
Can you
anyhow, it
use it in
starts
a
with a C.
sentence? Country of origin,
No.
please.
So,
It's a spelling bee?
so just to add proof to what Dan's saying, um, what's the word that starts with a C? That
Credence.
no, not credence. But
Oh,
anyhow,
that would have been a
uh,
good one to use right there.
so
Just add credence to what Dan was saying.
twice I saw in person where we had a research naive physician questioned by a CRA. What is the consenting process at your site? And
Oof.
both
Oof.
times I tried to answer that question for them. And they
Yeah,
said,
you were there.
I know you know. I want to hear it from them. So
Wow.
as a CRA,
Wait,
and
wait. So what did they say?
they couldn't answer the question,
How
but
did they answer it?
they didn't.
They
They
said
were like,
no?
I don't know. You get them to sign. But anyhow, but anyhow,
Uh, these these
the point,
doctors, man.
the point here is at least you add that layer in which at least someone at the site knows how to answer this question as a
Yes,
CRA.
yes. And it's rare that the CRA is going to be that ballsy to where
No,
they
I don't
do
know if
that.
it's rare. We've had clients do that too.
Yeah, we have yet to have that happen. But I know. It's possible.
So just, you know, uh, just to add again,
Well,
a credence to what Dan's saying.
thank you. You
It's
used my
nice to
word.
have it you offer at least experience at the site. Now, as a CRA, you're not going to understand a lot of the operational aspects of a site, but you do understand GCP and the other pivotal uh,
It's
regulatory concerns.
Dude, it's amazing to me how CRA, these are monitors that do site selection visits on their own as for a living. They start a site and they ask us, what do I do at the site selection visit? Now that they're a site owner, there's like they
Yeah,
don't know. What do you mean you've been doing it? And
yeah.
I would get mad and answer like, are you joking or like you do this, right? You even have the reports. You've probably been trained on how to do it. How can you not train yourself on how to do it on, on the other side? It's literally answering the questions. Like, and then you should train your PI the day before. Like, hey, they're gonna come in. There's a chance they might
It's
ask
all
you and not
robotic.
me.
It's all robotic.
Yeah, just say GCP. They have enough time to ask questions. We don't force them. It's
But they've
voluntary.
been
Blah blah blah.
operating as a robot, so they've never really thought about it from the other side's perspective. They have a
That
checklist.
speaks volumes of work. I think that speaks volumes.
Well, a lot of people, and even myself included, I would say probably all people in some capacity, when they do something repeatedly and repetitively, they start to lose focus on what's the
Mm.
whole picture and just let's
Hmm.
get this done.
And that's where the industry changes a little bit, and then things change a little bit more and just a little more, and pretty soon you had your head in the sand, like,
Yeah, what happened?
because you
Right.
weren't paying attention, you sleep at the wheel. Don't get complacent in your job, folks.
Well, I don't know if it's complacency to not think of the other person's perspective. I don't know if that's complacency.
What is it? It's at least disengagement at the minimum.
Yes, I would agree with that.
That can't be good.
Yeah,
These
it's
AI are coming. These AI are coming. They're gonna do that. We got it. If anything, the human skill will be to be engaged, more engaged, not
sure,
disengaged.
sure.
Maybe we stumbled onto something here. A gem at minute 39?
Sure.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah. I've been saying this forever. I don't think you can replace sales, right? Which is kind of salesy. You
Influence. Yeah.
you cannot
Persuasion.
re in AI, I don't think you can replace sales. Whatever there is for sales out there will remain for quite some time.
AI
Even when
can,
AI is perfected, I don't think
I think
sales.
AI will be good at listing the doubts and the objections and
Sure,
the maybe
sure.
having rebuttals.
Given
But
checklists and things of that nature,
the sales sometimes require that
personal touch,
emotional. Yeah,
personal
like
touch.
it's not just semantics, it's a spirit.
Hmm.
And Jordan Peterson calls it striving upwards Jacob's ladder.
Yep.
The reason you
And
do anything is supposedly to better your situation than before, right? Like whether it's a
mhm,
job, whether you're adding value to the industry, value to yourself, or your own business, even more so.
mhm.
It's a continuous upwards progression. It might be circular at times, but it should be going up. And that means remaining engaged with what you're doing constantly.
But generally speaking, CRAs are not selling
I
anything.
know. And that's why, generally speaking, they're going to be
Replaced.
they're going to be needing to figure this out soon. Not all of them are going to be site owners, but
Sure.
I think most of them will stay in the industry. It's just what are they going to do?
In some capacity because of their experience.
Yeah. It's interesting stuff. Anything else we missed as far as do's and don'ts? Oh yeah, my least favorite thing they ask me. You can always tell the sleazy ones, man. How do I lock in my PI so he can't do anything
Oh.
else? Like they want to already put them in jail.
No, they want to make them slaves.
There you go. Like, come on. What kind of person are you? Like lock in? I've
Right.
never had, unless the PI requested something in writing. I never had. It's always been a handshake agreement.
Sure.
Kulkarni thinks I'm an idiot, but Kulkarni don't know everything, right?
Hmm.
And eventually we get them at LLC and we have papers, but I don't know. I've
So
never
I
tried to lock in anyone.
so let's go back to Carney for a moment. I'm sure you've made the argument, but if just in
That's
case,
Darshan for those wondering. We just,
just in case you haven't,
when we're being smug, we call him Kulkarni.
you have made the argument to him. What am I gonna do? Sue him? What do I need a contract for? That's all it's gonna
Right.
do is offer me at least proof that I have a lawsuit, but am I gonna sue them? No. So why
Right.
do I need a contract?
I want to pay 100 grand to attempt to collect something and then even have to collect it if I win.
Yeah, you gotta win, then collect it. There's two
Yeah.
problems involved in
Right.
suing. So
Which costs more money
you've
at that
made this
point.
argument to him, right?
Yeah.
And so what is his rebuttal to that?
Well, he thinks like an attorney. He says, well, you have it on paper and there's just no other way to do it. I don't know.
So
That's
what
his
does it matter if I'm not going to enforce that paperwork?
he doesn't care. He's an attorney.
I'm missing out on funds, missing out on a fee here, huh? Or at
Well,
least my colleagues are.
I don't think he's actually cares about that as much as others. I think he's just trained to say that.
So he's a robot.
I think so.
Uh, well, I what I usually tell clients is I'm right there with you. It's like, unless the PI requests a contract, which is fine, I don't provide one. We just get everything in an email because that's
You can do that
sufficient.
too. Yeah.
It's the important, what I say is the importance to a contract is outlining everybody's function and role. That's the only
Yeah.
reason you really need it. And how is payment going to work?
Well, that too. Yeah. So
And that can be in an email.
so why lock in someone that doesn't want to work with you? Like I have this issue right now. There's a PI that just doesn't want to do it anymore. Like, he's like, "Hey, I don't have time for this." He told one of our coordinators like, "Hey, it was good while it lasted, but like, I don't know, it's more than I bargained for." He's probably had other stuff happening in his private practice.
Mhm.
So why would I want to pursue that? Like, what am I gonna gain from forcing him to continue to do study? No, you gotta take these or I'm gonna sue you. Like, what kind of people it does you no good? What
And
kind of sponsor are you gonna attract with
uh,
a PI like that?
and is there a contract in which it would even be enforceable to do such a thing, right?
No.
Can I force you to work when you're not willing to work?
Exactly.
Now, I think more of their concerns, the clients, is I don't want to allow this PI to go work elsewhere or to start their own. Learn
Yeah.
from me and start their own. I think that's more of their perspective, not forcing someone to work. And I get that. I honestly do. Here's a research naive physician. I have the experience. I'm going to teach them.
hmm
And then they're going to go start their own thing.
But if you even have to ask that about the guy or girl you're about to partner with, isn't that a red flag that you maybe shouldn't partner with them?
Well, what I tell them, generally speaking, is yeah, I mean, that's certainly a concern. There's not a whole lot you can do about it, but there is one way to avoid this, and that's to partner with them. I make
Yeah.
them an owner,
Yeah.
not an employee. So if
Right.
that's your concern, make them an owner.
But even then, It's still a lawsuit if you need to fight it, and it's
Yeah,
still.
yeah, but there's different grounds there because it's in
Mm.
my opinion, it might be more worth a lawsuit, but because let's just assume this is
There's
my
a
assumption.
fiduciary duty.
Yeah, but it goes beyond that because the assumption I make is the site's successful and there's a falling out for some reason. So there's capital within a bank account, a company account.
Mm, mm,
So there is actual financials to fight over, right? In
right.
which the money's not going to disappear and you will get the award.
You will, well, if you're an LLC partnership or a corporation,
Because
that
if the doctor
money,
takes that money out, that's
that's theft.
illegal.
Yeah, that's illegal. Yeah.
And
That's
it's same for
actually
you to do the same while you're in a
right.
lawsuit.
Right,
So
right.
there's money there to fight over.
Correct, correct.
So you're not gonna, if you are awarded a financial agreement or a financial settlement, you have the money. It's in the account.
Yeah.
That's more my mindset when I tell them if you're worried about that form of
No, fair enough,
partnership.
fair enough. And this PI that's realized he doesn't have time to do research, we have an LLC. So we're gonna dissolve it probably when the study's over and
Mhm.
just he
But that's a totally different scenario. He just doesn't want to do it, and
right, but
fine,
like
go
I'm
away.
using it as an example of like what good would it have done if I had him sign all this shit and lock him in? Like he still wants to quit, he's gonna quit. What can you do, you know?
Right. No, nothing. It's they're not your slave.
Okay. Anything else we're missing on do's and don'ts?
Um,
Do only take studies you can enroll, except when it's your first study, take what you can get.
yeah, I mean, when you're research naive, this is another thing I tell potential clients all the time.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, when you're research naive, you're going to take on a study that's not the greatest. I mean, it's almost a guaranteed, almost.
Yeah.
Outside of GI, for some reason, a lot of GI studies are good. If you have the patient population as a research naive physician, you can get a award for good studies for you. But all other therapeutic areas or indications, um, it's difficult to get your first study. It really is. And generally speaking, that first study is going to be one of two types. It's either going to be a study with a horrible budget or not a very good budget. And that's why experienced research physicians are turning it down.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be something that requires 15,000 patients. And generally speaking, those budgets aren't great either. And they're just taking all doctors.
Or there's a third.
There's a third.
You're an add-on site. No one else is able to enroll anyone. So it's already plenty of red flags going up. The budget's decent,
Sure.
but
It's a bad
like
study. So
they need more sites because it's a miracle to
I
even
tell
find
them
these
this too.
people.
I tell
Yeah.
them this too.
That was our first study in Yuma.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get patients for the study.
And we got lucky because those were two studies. We got both sister studies. Each
Mhm.
had a separate budget. Each had a pretty good startup fee.
And
And
how
with
many
that startup
patients were
fee,
enrolled?
four screen failures in one, and then in the other, zero.
So zero enrolled in either study. So
Yes.
yes, this is the type of study. But you know what?
And we just closed it out last month.
Yeah, 5 years later.
Yeah.
So
Yours truly. I did
th
it.
this is the type of study you're going to get as a research naive physician,
And you
generally
take it. You
speaking.
take it.
Yeah, because you need the experience in your CV,
Hmm.
and you're not taking it because knowing full well that you're not going to get patients, but you got to get a
Yeah.
study
We had a four screen failure. We actually thought
you
one or
could get
two of them would
patients.
get in.
Yep. And
We
one or two
knew
would have been good for the
one
study.
or
They would
two
have
would
been
have
happy
been
with
they
that.
would have been happy. They were actually even happy with our four screen failures, believe it or not.
Mhm.
Um, and because they were the same company, they were not even that worried about our other study having zero because they knew. So that was like a almost a perfect first study. But yeah, so I think that's all the do's and don'ts maybe for new site owners. I don't know. I think that's contact DSCS. You're gonna need help.
Well, it's not a do or don't, just because, again, I get asked this question a lot, and I like to throw it out there so sites are mindful of it. If everyone's research naive, you're looking at minimum of 4 months to get your first study. Minimum.
Hmm.
If everyone's research naive at your site.
Well, even if the stakeholder has experience, it's still
Yeah,
minimum.
yeah.
Oh, do rent your own place or don't. Age-old question. We've addressed this numerous times, but
So beggars being choosers, start at the doctor's office if you can at a
yeah.
private practice. I mean, again, you can be successful just like a Miami site can be successful. You can be successful starting a research site. But do understand you need to have a resource for patients.
I think we
So
should start a private equity group, you and I, that invest only in research sites in Miami.
why?
I don't know. I just think there's something there.
All right.
I think it's
Uh,
a genius.
no, I don't know about genius.
I think that's it,
I
guys.
I really don't think you understand how many. I mean, I know you do, but there are so many sites in Miami.
I know. I know. Would
I
you
take
start a
calls
site in
every
Miami?
week from Miami.
Would you start a site in Miami? If you moved to Miami, would you start a site there?
Nope, I wouldn't bother.
See, I think I would.
I wouldn't. I don't think it's worth the struggle.
I would choose something like rare disease or something very niche.
So you're fighting two battles in Miami, really.
Yeah.
You're fighting competition because there's just so many.
Yeah.
And then you're also fighting the concern about fraud. Now, you probably don't have to worry about that concern, I would guess, from with most sponsors, but you still have to worry about the competition. I'm just saying for other sites that have have no what's the word I'm looking for? Others are not aware who they are.
Yeah.
They have no reputation. Um, Sponsors are going to have two concerns, right?
There's also the thing
Competition
in
and
Miami
fraud.
of there's the thing in Miami too about like not speaking English. We have a one of our staff members, she's an IMG. She speaks English, but it's not very good. She's a doctor
So
from Mexico.
you would call it broken English.
It's just like she's trying to get better, but it like for the writing stuff, it doesn't matter because AI is very good.
Hmm.
But but she's still one of many staff. So, and she can communicate like when a monitor comes. But like in Miami, what I've noticed is you'll have some sites where nobody knows English. The site owners don't know English. The PIs do, but you never get them on the phone. Uh, the coordinators don't, and it's like you have even further of a battle to climb. And I know it's not supposed to be that way because of, inclusion and all that stuff. We need more minorities in research, but I've heard CRAs tell me like, no, there's sites there that don't even speak English, like none of them. It's okay for like one or two. It's understandable. They're patient-facing people. They're going to speak Spanish. There's a need for that. But when not like the owners or nobody's really has a good, solid, like working.
No, that's a definite problem.
Yeah,
Because, well, think about it. How many of the large sponsors are located outside of the US? Probably half of them. So,
right. And English is agreed
and
upon as the
yeah,
international language.
many of them don't speak Spanish.
Even in Latin America, I went to Mexico City. I'm never going to stop telling this story. I went to their version of Research Triangle Park. It's like this couple square blocks in downtown. Well, everything's downtown Mexico City, but like in the biotech district where
Mhm.
like everyone's there. Lilly, Takeda, Quintal, IQVIA, PPD, Sydney, all of them, man.
Mhm.
They have a rule there. You cannot speak Spanish in the building
Hmm.
because everyone already knows Spanish. The thing is, like, if you can speak English there, you're more likely to do well
Sure, makes sense.
because it's the international language. So, like, when I went in there, I was trying to speak Spanish. I went to meet some people from PPD, super nice people, and I'm trying to speak Spanish, and they're like talking in English with me. And it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, no, we're actually like really forbidden, at least on a formal basis. Like, you can, if you're in the bathroom or something, yeah, shoot the shit, but on a formal communications, it's all English. Which makes
Yeah,
sense. It's the international language.
yeah, I agree.
Uh, okay. Well, now I'll maybe think about the challenge of starting a site in Miami one day. But not
Yeah.
now. Not now.
So, like I said, I tell clients all the time, I'm not saying don't do it because If you can't live elsewhere, this is your only option and you can't be successful. If it were me, I would not start a site in Miami.
I would start one in Miami for the challenge.
And you'd be surprised how many of these people sign up. When I tell them this,
But the
it's not a good option,
but
but you
listen,
can be successful, which is
some
all
of our
true.
most successful
Yeah,
are in Miami.
yes, yeah, no doubt.
Okay, Houston, what's the second most competitive market? I would
It's
say
either
Houston.
Houston or LA, one or the
LA?
other. Yeah,
Chicago's getting there too, no?
I don't think so.
No? What's so Miami, Houston, LA in that order?
Again, I'm not sure who's worse, LA or Houston, in terms of competitiveness. They're both competitive, and it's difficult to get studies in both.
And what's after that? Like the next tier?
I don't really worry
New
about it
York?
after that. Honestly, I don't really have a concern after that personally.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, New York's for a different reason, probably difficult, just because it's different. It's difficult to navigate, especially Manhattan. Um,
Yeah, you want to get to the airport, you need to leave there like 5 hours before.
yeah, we almost missed a plane from
Thank
Manhattan,
God I
but
had pre-check.
yep,
Thank God I had pre-check.
yep. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really any other area that I would say I'm concerned about. I mean, yeah, obviously the less competitive, the better. You want to open a site and for sure get a study, go to Mississippi. But who wants to live there?
I think Phoenix getting competitive too.
Yeah, probably. But again, I don't think it's overly competitive. And which, what I mean by
Atlanta,
that, I don't think so. I'm just saying I think you can still be relatively, not easily successful, but it's not that difficult.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas is a little bit difficult, but I still wouldn't say it's like Houston.
No, and because it's so spread out.
Yeah.
Well, Houston's spread out too, but Dallas,
Uh,
you just keep going further and further out, till you find a place.
in summary, the only place I really recommend against is Miami. That's the only place I
So
really recommend.
Orlando, you'd be okay with Orlando?
More so.
All
Florida
right.
as a whole is difficult.
Yeah.
Florida as a whole is like Houston or LA.
Okay, so Florida as a
Miami,
whole, anywhere is numbers one, two, three, four, and five. And then
Miami's on its own level. Seriously.
okay. Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing.
But Florida is like
Why don't we
Houston or
do a
LA.
SOS regional meetup in Miami?
We're talking about it.
Oh,
We're talking
yeah.
about doing a conference there, I think, not just a meetup.
That'd be dope.
But yeah, Florida is like Houston or LA. And again, you can be very successful in those areas. It's still difficult. It's just not as difficult as Miami.
Yeah, fair enough. I
But
like it.
in summary, I would say if you're in a major metropolitan area, it's going to be a little more difficult for you because there is definitely competition. It doesn't matter what therapeutic area, what
Literally
indication,
any
any
metro.
area, any indication, any therapeutic area in any large metro area, there's going to be competition for
Even
that.
second and third tier cities like Tucson, they have like five
Less
sites that
so,
I know of. There's like
less
five
so.
sites that I know
Sure,
of.
less so. I would say if your population is over 500,000, you definitely have competition.
Yeah, yeah. Which is the top 100 size cities in the US,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
Yuma's not on there, but it's like probably in the top 200.
Yeah.
There you go. Find one between 100 and 200.
Yeah, you're probably limited competition. There's still going to be
Yeah,
competition generally.
yeah,
Yuma's just an outlier. But you'll have competition generally, but it's not going to be many sites. It's going to be like three
yeah,
or four.
yeah. And you run into other issues there, like, well,
I can't
there's
find
large,
imaging.
you can't find imaging, or the large health center won't work with me, so you're limited to the private practice. And if you lose a psychiatrist, that's it. There's literally no one else in town other than that large health system. And
Yep.
those are the issues there. But I'd
Yep.
rather take those than just
Competition.
not getting at bats. I'd
Yeah.
rather just come up to the plate more often.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
completely agree.
All right. Cool. Well, that's it. I've been meaning to ask what's your shirt say because I only see the top half. Duct tape. It can't fix stupid, but it can muffle the sound. I'm glad we saved that for the end. I'm not sure what you're trying to say by that, but
It's funny.
it's funny. Yeah. That's funny.
I wore it into my dental office months ago, and they know I wear shirts like this, so
It's giving
the
serial killer vibes, though.
no,
A
they
little bit.
the front desk. There's three ladies that sit there. They all chuckled, and then there was somebody that was sitting a patient and said, "Hey, Chris, turn around so they can see your shirt," and they cracked up laughing. No, it's funny.
That's funny, yeah. But not
I think
funny.
it's funny.
Not funny, haha.
Yes, it's funny. Ha ha.
Like, subscribe, comment, share,
Bye bye.
and good luck with your site in Miami. Bye bye.